Hello children, warm greetings of the day. I welcome all of you to this new video class of class 10. The topic that I have brought for you today is a poem written by Auden Nash, an American poet. The name of the poem is The Tale of Custard the Dragon. Before I begin the poem, I would like to tell you something about a dragon. You must have seen some movies based on a dragon, right? These dragons are considered legendary creatures who are known to have wings, and some dragons they breathe fire. That means they spit fire out of their mouth. So that is why sometimes dragons are also called Spitfire dragon. Now, this poem is actually a ballet. What's a ballet? A ballet is a poem which narrates a story, and it can be sung as well. Okay, so let us get started. Before I start the poem, I would like to tell you something about the poet. So before I begin the poem, I would like to tell you something about its poet, Auden Nash. Frederick Auden Nash was an American poet well known for his light verse, of which he wrote over 500 pieces. With his unconventional rhyming schemes, he was declared the country's best known producer of humorous poetry. So he was an American poet who excelled in writing light verse. Now the question arises, what's the meaning of light verse? Light verse, my dear children, means humorous poetry, and he was a master of humorous poetry, Auden Nash, and he has written over 500 pieces of such poetries, an accomplishment indeed. So this is a poem which comes in the category of light verse because it is very funny at times, and let us see how a dragon has been described in this particular poem by Auden Nash. So let us get started. Okay, so here is the poem. The first 4 lines of the poem, that is stanza 1, are as follows. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really truly little pet dragon. So this is how the poem begins. The poem describes a girl. She was a little girl who lived in a white house, a beautiful white house, and she had 4 pets, and these pets were, look at the picture, this is Belinda, that's her name, and she had a cat, a mouse and a dog as pets. Apart from these 3 pets, she had a very ferocious looking but a timid little dragon, and this dragon was also one of the pets that Belinda had. Okay, and these pets were of different colors. For an example, the kitten was black, the mouse was grey, the dog was yellow, and she also had a red wagon. What is a wagon? A wagon is a cart which is used for carrying things. And a relio trulio. What is this relio trulio? Relio trulio are actually not words of English. They have been changed into slightly new words, you can say, in order to go with the rhythm of the poem. This poetic device is called poetic license. So the poets are allowed to change the spelling of some words in order to make it go with the rhythm of the poem. So relio means real, trulio means true. So she had a real true little pet dragon. That's the meaning of the last line. Now coming to the literary devices, the rhyme scheme AABB, that is house, mouse, wagon and dragon. Repetition, use of the word little. The word little, as you can see, has been used many times. So that's repetition. Now the next is oxymoron. What is an oxymoron? Oxymoron is a poetic device in which opposite meaning words are put together. For an example, pet, dragon, both. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse, she called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was Sharp as Mustard, but the dragon was a coward, and she called him Custard. Now look at the way she has named her pets. Belinda is a sweet little girl. She has 4 pets, and all the pets have been given their names on the basis of either their physical features or their character traits. For an example, the kitten was, because it was black in color, was named Ink. Why? Because of its dark color. Similarly, the mouse, which was grey in color, was called Blink, probably because of its habit of running to its mouse hole every time it saw a threat. And the little yellow dog, the dog was very small in size and was of yellow color, and that is why, because of its body color, it was given the name Mustard, because it was as sharp, bright colored as mustard seeds. And the dragon that she had was a sheepish and timid creature. It was something which did not want to interact with anyone. All it wanted to do was rest in one corner of the house. That's why she called this little sweet dragon Custard. Okay? Now the literary devices, rhyme scheme, as I told you earlier, it is ABAB, simile, the comparison between two words using as and like. And the little yellow dog was Sharp as Mustard. Sharp as Mustard is an example of simile. Alliteration, repetition of a letter at the beginning of the word. For an example, coward, and she called him Custard. C, C, C. The letter C is being repeated again and again, which is an example of alliteration. The next poetic device, dear children, is anaphora. Repeated use of word at the start of 2 consecutive lines, consecutive one after another. So anaphora means when a word is repeated in consecutive lines, that is an anaphora. For an example, and the little grey mouse, and the little yellow dog. So the word and is repeated, which is an example of anaphora. And the next poetic device is repetition. The word little is repeated many times in the whole, which is an example of repetition. Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on top of him and scales underneath. Mouth like fireplace, chimney for a nose, and Relio Trulio daggers on his toes. So here in this stanza, the poet has described the ferocious dragon, even though it was a timid little creature. So the poet says, Custard the dragon, it had very big sharp teeth. The teeth of a dinosaur, as you know, or a dragon, they have very sharp and long teeth. So this dragon had the same kind of teeth, and spikes on top of him. What are the spikes? Spikes are the features which are there. I'm showing it with the help of this pointer. Look at the spikes on the back of this creature, dragon. There are some tentacles like things. These are called the spikes. Okay. And the spikes on top of him, it had spikes which looked very, very dangerous. And it also had scales. Its body had scales just like that of a fish. Okay, so this is how the dragon is described. And its mouth was like a fireplace. Fireplace, that means it spitted fire out. It is believed, I have told you earlier, that dragons in ancient civilization, in ancient culture, were associated with fire, which associated with the ability to spit fire, right? That is why his mouth has been described as a fireplace. Chimney for a nose, and its nose was as huge and big as chimneys of a factory. Okay, because they threw out the smoke or the air which was created inside the body of the dragon. And the last line, and Relio Trulio daggers on his toes, and his toes had very sharp nails or claws, and these toes are compared to daggers. sharp knife. Okay, so this is how this dragon has been described. Needless to say, it was a very dangerous and ferocious looking creature. The literary devices: rhyme scheme ABAB, simile, mouth like a fireplace, refrain. What is refrain? It is repetition of a sentence again and again at the end of a poem or end of a stanza of a poem, for an example. And relio trulio daggers. So the words relio trulio, these are repeated again and again. They are an example of refrain. And metaphor. What is a metaphor? Metaphor is a comparison between two words without using as and like. Without using as and like. Keep this point in mind. That's the difference between a metaphor and a simile. So, chimney for a nose. The nose of the dragon is compared to a chimney, which is an example of a metaphor. Okay? Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chased lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Okay, so Belinda is described as a brave girl. She was as brave as a barrel. Barrel means a drum filled with bears. So she was very, very brave, according to the poet. And Ink and Blink, the cat and the mouse, they were so ferocious and so courageous that even lions were scared of them, and they chased these lions down the stairs. Okay, so that was the ability of the cat and the mouse. They were ferocious, they were fearless, very courageous and valiant. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage. And when we talk about the dog, yellow dog Mustard, it was also very courageous, as brave as a tiger in a jungle. And when the tiger gets angry, it has a very ferocious, dangerous look in his eyes. The same thing could be said for Mustard as well. When he got angry, he would just look like a ferocious tiger about to pounce on its prey. But Custard cried for a nice safe cage. But then Custard was so different from all other pets. How was he different? He just wanted one thing. He wanted safety. He wanted a little cage where he could relax and sleep all the time. So he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to scare anyone. He didn't want to perform those valiant acts. He didn't want to even boast about himself to anyone. All he wanted was peace. All he wanted was to lie in a safe cage. Okay, now the literary devices: rhyme scheme ABAB, alliteration. Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears. Which letter? Letter B is repeated again and again. So it's an example of alliteration. Simile: Belinda's bravery is compared to that of a barrel full of bears. As a barrel full of bears. That's an example of simile. Okay. And Mustard was as brave as a tiger. Again, this is an example of a simile. Then there is assonance. What is an assonance? It is use of vowel sound. A. Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears. The letter A is repeated many times in the line. That is an example of assonance. It doesn't come at the beginning. It comes at different places. So that is the difference. Okay. Note these differences. So assonance is slightly different from alliteration. What's the difference? It's something which I have explained. Keep these points in mind. Belinda tickled him. She tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon at the Relio Trulio cowardly dragon. Now what happened? Belinda was a little nasty with her little dragon. she would tickle him unmercifully. That was something which was very annoying for Custard, but Custard had to bear the experience. He could not do a thing. He could not oppose Belinda because he loved her. And Ink and Blink and Mustard, all other pets, they also rudely called him Percival. Now, who is Percival? Sir Percival was a knight who was there in the great King Arthur's army, and it is believed that Sir Percival was a cowardly knight. Why? On seeing the army of the enemy, he just ran away. So here the creature, the dragon Custard, is compared to the same cowardly knight Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon, and all the pets, including Belinda, they sat in the red wagon, the red cart, and they all laughed and mocked Custard. At the really truly cowardly dragon, they called him a coward. They called him a very lazy dragon. They called him names, and that was something which was painful for the little dragon. But the dragon did not say a thing because Custard loved everyone in the house. The literary devices: rhyme scheme ABAB, refrain, repetition of a sentence again and again, that is Relio and Trulio. Repetition, tickled him. The word tickled him is repeated many times. Okay, so that's repetition. Then allusion. What is allusion? This is a new poetic device. It means reference to any person or place. So here the dragon has been referred to, a reference is made to Lord Percival, which is an example of allusion. And the last but not the least, the next poetic device is personification. For an example, Ink, Blink and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. Percival is again Ink, Blink and Mustard. They are they cannot talk, but then they are given human qualities. They are calling the dragon Percival. So this is an example of personification. Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said weak, which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age, when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. So when the dragon was teased and mocked at by Belinda and her pets, what happened? Belinda used to giggle a lot at the mocking words which were used by her. But then the dragon, that is Custard, he did not pay heed to whatever Belinda said. And Blink said weak, and Blink would also laugh in its own way. And what was his way of laughing? It would say weak, weak, which is giggling for a mouse. Similarly, Ink and Mustard, they were very rude to the dragon Custard, and they would always ask him his age, which he was not able to tell, obviously. And then Custard was someone who was so coward, so peaceful. He only wanted one thing. He didn't want to fight with anyone. He didn't want to argue with anyone. All he wanted was a nice safe cage. Okay. The literary devices used are rhyme scheme ABAB, onomatopoeia. What is that? That is the usage of sound words to create a dramatic effect. For an example, the words giggled and weak are examples of onomatopoeia. And the last poetic device is refrain, which means the repetition of a line at the end of a stanza. Custard cried for a nice safe cage is repeated again and again. Suddenly, they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Mew! Cried Ink, and ooh! Cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. Okay, so now what happens? There is a sudden change in the scenario. There is a threat that becomes visible suddenly, and look at the reaction of all the pets and Belinda. They called themselves courageous, they called themselves brave, but the moment they saw a threat or a danger coming their way, they all got afraid. They all were terrified. So suddenly they heard a nasty sound. Suddenly all the pets and Belinda, they heard a dangerous sound coming from the house. So what was that? They were wondering. And Mustard growled. The dog, it growled, and they all looked around, and they started looking around from where the sound was coming. Mew, cried Ink, and Ink, the little mouse, it said mew, it had seen something. And oh, cried Belinda. And Belinda was horrified, she was afraid, she was scared. So what did she say? She said, oh my God, for there was a pirate. There was a pirate. Pirate, who is a pirate? A sea robber. And what was this pirate doing? It was climbing up the window. Window is a poetic variation of the word window. So it was climbing up the window. It was about to enter the house. It was a ferocious looking pirate. Its one leg was made up of wood. It had a false leg. He had a false leg, and he was a very ferocious looking robber, right? So this is what they saw, and they were very scared on finding the robber climbing up the window. The literary devices used are rhyme scheme ABAB, consonants, use of consonant sound S, suddenly, onomatopoeia, usage of the words to create a dramatic effect. For an example, mustard, growled, mew, cried Ink. These are all examples of onomatopoeia. Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. So, here in this stanza, the description of the pirate takes place. The pirate has been described in a very ferocious manner. He was a dangerous person. He had pistols in both his hands, and he was waving those pistols up in the air. And he held in his teeth, because he was climbing up the window. So what happened? He had a short cutlass, means a short sword. So he held that short sword in his teeth in order to hold it correctly. And he was climbing up the window. His beard was black. He had a very dangerous looking black beard, and one leg was wood, and he was crippled. He had a leg that was a false leg that was made up of wood. And while he was climbing up the window, it was pretty clear that this robber, he meant no good for the people who were there in the house. He was going to attack them. He was going to loot them of their treasure, of their, all their belongings. The literary devices used are rhyme scheme, same, ABAB, alliteration, the letter black, B, the letter B is repeated in black, he held his, the letter H, etc. Imagery, an image is created about the appearance of the pirate. So these are the poetic devices used here. Belinda paled and she cried, help, help! But Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household, and little Mouse Blink strategically mouseholed. Okay, so now what happened? Belinda, she grew pale when she saw the pirate climbing up the window. She didn't know what to do. She was not a courageous girl. She was quite afraid. She was also a little girl. She didn't know how to handle the situation, and she paled. She became nervous, she became frightened, and she cried, help, help, help. She was crying that. And Mustard, the yellow dog, it fled away. Instead of facing the danger, the dog fled away. Dogs are supposed to be very loyal creatures. They rise to the bait, and they defend you like anything from threats and dangers. But this dog was a different one. It fled away with a terrified yelp, and as it fled away, it was just making a yelping sound, which is a sign of terror. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household, and Ink, the little cat, what did it do? It ran away to the basement of the house, and it hid there. And the little Mouse Blink, it straight away went to his mouse hole, and he went inside, and he remained safe there. So this is what happened to the pets, except the dragon, Custard. The rest of the creatures, the rest of the people who were there in the household, they ran away for their safety. Okay, the literary devices, rhyme scheme ABAB, and there is a transferred epithet. What is a transferred epithet? Transferred epithet is a poetic device in which there is an adjective that is transferred to another noun. other than what is mentioned in the line. For an example, the word terrified yelp. The terrified yelp not only describes the condition of the dog, that is Mustard, but also of other people who were there in the house, like the pets and Belinda. They were all afraid. So this is an example of transferred epithet. And then the word help has been repeated many times. But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine, clashed his tail like irons in a dungeon. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm, he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. So, apart from other creatures of the house who had hidden themselves in order to save their lives, it was Custard who stood the ground. It was Custard the dragon who rose to the bait and he attacked the pirate. And as he came ahead to attack the pirate, what happened? He was snorting, he was making a sound like that of a dangerous engine. Clashed his tail and he was hitting his tail on the ground, which was creating a sound of iron chains falling, okay, on the ground. And that was the kind of ferocious, dangerous sounds that Custard was generating. Obviously, Custard was in a very full mood. It was not in a mood to spare this pirate. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm, and with lots of noise of clattering sound, clanking sound, jangling sound, he came to the pirate. He went at the pirate like a robin. Robin is a bird. So, the way a robin bird attacks a worm, its prey, in the similar way Custard attacked the pirate. The poetic devices: rhyme scheme, simile, onomatopoeia. I've given the details in the slide. The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit, and Custard gobbled him every bit. Now what happened? The pirate had not asked for this kind of danger. He had never guessed that Belinda's house had a dragon as well. So when he went up the window and entered the house, he was aghast, completely awestruck by the appearance of a ferocious dragon that was about to attack him. He had not expected that. He had not counted that in the number of dangers that he would have to encounter. So he gaped at Belinda's dragon. He looked with his mouth open and gulped some grog, and he was getting nervous and scared. So he took out his flask which was there, and he took out some grog. Grog means a kind of alcohol. He just took it and gulped it down his throat. He fired 2 bullets. He had 2 pistols in his hand, remember? And he fired 2 bullets at the dragon, but they didn't hit. They missed the target. And Custard gobbled him every bit, and Custard came to the pirate and ate him up, finished him. The literary devices are rhyme scheme and alliteration. Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him. No one mourned for his pirate victim. Ink and Blink in glee did gyrate around the dragon that ate the pirate. Now Belinda, she embraced her pet Custard because he had saved all of them from death. And Mustard licked him. The dog came out and it started licking, showing its affection to the dragon. No one mourned for the pirate victim, and pirate was dead. It was eaten, finished by the dragon. And no one mourned, no one showed any pity to the dragon, to the pirate, sorry. Ink and Blink in glee did gyrate, and Ink and Blink, they were so happy they started moving around the Custard, around the dragon that ate the pirate, and they were moving and showing their happiness. They were all praising him. The literary devices: rhyme scheme, alliteration, assonance. Assonance, the words no one mourned for. These are examples of assonance. I've already explained the meaning, so I'm just focusing on the examples. Ink and Blink and glee did. These are all examples. Okay. But presently up spoke little dog Mustard. I would have been twice as brave if I hadn't been flustered. And up spoke Ink and up spoke Blink. We have have been 3 times as brave, we think. And Custard said, I quite agree that everybody is braver than me. So, after praising him, they suddenly became aware of the fact that they used to call him a coward. They treated him as a coward and often criticized and insulted Custard. So now the dog starts speaking. Mustard says that it's okay that Custard has been so very brave and courageous, but just because he was a bit flustered, a bit nervous. Had he not been nervous, he too would have been as brave as Custard. This is the statement given by the dog. And Ink and Blink, they also say that they would have been 3 times as brave as Custard. And Custard did not fight, did not argue for anything. He said that yes, and he agreed quietly with everyone. And he said that he completely agrees that everybody else in the house is braver than him. The literary devices used are rhyme scheme, which is AABB. Belinda still lives. Belinda still lives in her little white house with her little black kitten and her little grey mouse and her little yellow dog and her little red wagon and her Relio Trulio little pet dragon. Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chase lions down the stairs. Mustard is as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard keeps crying for a nice safe cage. This is how the poem comes to an end, that there is no difference in their outlook towards the dragon. They treat him in a very strange manner. They still think of him as a coward. And Belinda still lives in the same White House. She has the same pets, and the pets are still considered very brave by all other people because they can scare the tigers, they can fight with the pirates, they can do anything they like. And Belinda herself thinks that she herself is a very brave girl. But it's only Custard who doesn't want anything to do with all the kinds of gossip that is made around him. All that he wants is peace, all that he wants is a nice safe cage. So what do we learn from this particular poem? It seems that the people who are pretentious, they are actually at times very, very coward. They don't know how to act when the situation demands a strong and stringent action. Belinda and other pets, except Custard, they did not know how to fight the pirates. They all ran for their lives. It was only Custard who was courageous. So, a person who is courageous in tough times is a true person, right? Is a true, you can say, a true creature. So here Custard has shown that value. He has shown that character trait, which is absent in Belinda and other pets. So we learn that sometimes people whom we consider simple, people whom we consider cowards, they rise to the bait and they perform courageous acts. So this is the message of the poem. We should not underestimate anyone, because we do not know who is going to perform an act of courage and valiance when the situation demands it. So there is no need for us to be cruel or mocking towards others. The literary devices used are refrain and repetition. So with this we come to the end of the poem, and I have given one extract based question in this slide. Please attempt it in your copy. Now this is extract number 2. This is extract number 2. Please answer these questions in your copy. With this we come to the end of this chapter. I hope you people have enjoyed. I will be back with the next chapter pretty soon. Bye bye and take care.